going to be using melt and pour soap, that's the easy stuff, to make a soap bar that looks like a sunflower. So first thing, you're going to be needing your soap mold. Now this one is from a company called Milky Way Molds. They have a lot of very nice molds. And if you zoom in close, you can see that there's the center of the sunflower and then there are the little petals. So we'll be using two different colors to fill those in. So we're going to be using just a little bit of clear glycerin soap. I'm just going to cut off a piece of that. And you'll just throw that in a pan to cook for a little bit, or if you have a microwave, you can melt it in the microwave. You just want to wait until the soap is entirely melted. Keep it on a low temperature and then just cover your pan. Now once your soap is completely melted, you're going to want to add your scent and your color, and because there's so little soap here, you're only going to need a very few drops of scent and probably only about 1 drop of color, unless you want it a little darker and you can add some more color in. Just color it until you've got your desired color. So I'm using walnut for the coloring and lavender oil for the scent, even though sunflowers generally don't smell like lavender, it's a nice scent for soap. So just mix all that in when you've got your color and your scent. Then you're just going to come over to your mold and you're going to fill just the very center of the flower with the brown soap that you've just cooked up. Just pour it into the very center, just like that. So then just spray it with a little bit of rubbing alcohol to make sure that the top of it stays flat. So then you're going to take another piece of soap, much bigger this time, using about 1/2 pound of soap here, and you're just going to let that one melt down, just like the other one. And this one will be coloring yellow this time, but we'll still be using the same scent. So once again, once the soap is melted, you're going to add your scent and your color. Dandelion petals make a really nice yellow dye for this. And then for the essential oils, you're going to want to use about 50 drops. Unless you're using a weaker oil like lemon, then you want to use a little bit more because it doesn't smell as much. But yeah, for about 1/2 pound of soap, you'll be using somewhere around 50 drops of essential oil. And then of course, stir everything all together. So now what you're going to do, once the brown soap is dry, you're just going to spray the top of that with alcohol. What that'll do is allow the 2 layers of soap to adhere to one another, and the heat will melt away the smell of the alcohol. So then just pour your yellow soap right in there. You'll want to fill about half of the mold so it goes halfway up, just about to where the petals end, and then that'll just stick itself right to the brown part because of the alcohol that you sprayed in between the layers. So now to finish it off, you're just going to cook up some of the opaque soap, and we're going to leave this white. We're not going to color this at all, but we will be using the essential oils, and again, you'll figure about 50 drops per 1/2 pound, and so this is a little less than 1/2 pound, so I'll be using a little less than that, but just about 50 drops per 1/2 pound. And so once again, when your yellow soap has dried, you're just going to spray the top of it with a little bit of rubbing alcohol so that the next layer will adhere to it. And so then just take your uncolored white soap and pour that right on top. What that does is the white really sets off the colors underneath if you have it on a white background, so it makes the yellow and the brown really pop. And so then you'll just spray the white with some rubbing alcohol, and that will smooth out the back of the bar so the bottom of your bar has a nice smooth bottom. And so then you'll just flip your mold over, push on the top to get a little bit of air in between there, and then the soap pops right out. So then you have your little sunflower. And then you want to get this into a plastic bag as quick as you can, because otherwise the glycerin will pull moisture from the outside and it'll start to bubble up on the surface. So you can put that in a little plastic bag and tie it off with a little ribbon.